Welcome back to another episode of Stay Healthy. We actually have a special guest. He's on the baseball team at Grandview. He is from Minnesota. He's actually a catcher on the baseball team. A couple of hitting stats he has. He had 191 plate appearances, which is 22nd ranked in the entire NAI. He had 42 hits, which is 49th rank. He had one triple as a catcher. He is a little speed demon with it. That was ranked 31st in NAI. He had 6 home runs, which is 24th in NAI. He had 28 walks, which is 6th in NAI. That's including hit by pitches. And he had 9 hit by pitches. Little stays in there, takes the hit. And he had 1 stolen base. A little speed deeping out there. And a little bit of his fielding stats with being a catcher. He had 285 putouts, which is just literally catching the ball on a third strike somehow, or just getting a little sacrifice fly. He had 5 errors, and he'll talk a little bit more about it. His fielding percentage is a 98%. And he's a transfer from South Dakota State University, which is a D1 FCS school. Is there anything I'm missing right now?
No, I think you covered everything.
That's good. That's good. What's your favorite activity around Grandview?
Activity. When we get down to the end of the year, me and the roommates play disc golf a lot. Oh, that goes it's so much fun. We play it every day. Just a couple rounds here or there, and I mean, it's a blast going out there. I mean, we do it back home, and you can't get enough of it.
Do you play here, or do you go off to the other Grandview
No, we
course?
just play here. I mean, it's local, so we just hop outside, and it's beautiful. If there's no baseball around or fish, like one of those two, I mean, it's popular around Grandview. So, I mean, we just go to ponds or either stay here and play disc golf.
Yeah, because I never really got into disc golf at all. I play once in a while. The one time I went, the winds were blowing 30 miles per hour. Threw it in the air, went backwards. He's like, okay, we're done.
No, that's the best part. You make it a little challenging.
Going backwards, having the disc golf go backwards.
Well, you got to find a way.
How'd you get into baseball? And why'd you go to South Dakota State first, then Grandview?
Into baseball. I mean, my dad was a big impact of that. I mean, me and my brother growing up together, I mean, we were kind of split apart on 2 different teams until like my 9th year in playing, and then we 9A, so I was 9 years old. Me and my brother and my dad all were on the same team. I mean, I was lucky enough to play AAA back in travel ball with my brother, and also having my dad as a coach with a couple other dads that we knew very well. So, I mean, baseball surrounded our family from womb out and then present now. And, I mean, baseball is my life hold now, and now we're just cooking with it.
So how did you get to South Dakota State, or how did they figure who you were?
So actually, a couple of my games, the pitcher that I grew up playing ball with, Adam Major, who is now, where is he at? I think he is AA. I mean, here, I gotta look this up real quick. I just don't want to make sure it's correct. I think it's Pirate. San Diego Padres, yep. So I grew up playing ball with him, and the pitching coach from SDSU that year was looking at Adam, scouted him, and then he noticed me, and I had phenomenal games back when Adam was throwing. And so, he kind of had this, pitcher-catcher duo and kind of, the connection we have. So I was a good fit for him. I was, in high school, what they call it, a grit player. I just wanted to win. And we had this thing in Woodbury where it was, we have our key goals, and it was, kill, grit, and, energy is one of our 3s. And that's how we played with. And that's what kind of players, what SDSU wanted. And I was lucky enough to get a good offer from them to play there. And I, of course, took it. And also I knew a couple of guys there, so I was like, oh, my gosh, why not?
So what made your decision to come to Grandview after spending a year or two at SDU? I mean,
Yep,
your
2
stats were phenomenal over there.
You're funny. No, 2 years playing at SDSU. I mean, I had my ups and downs, especially my freshman year getting hurt. I mean, I kind of took my whole freshman year out of the picture with a snowboarding incident. And, that took the whole year out of the picture. So following sophomore year, I expected great things to happen, which I didn't get the enough time I thought I was going to play. I mean, even with the teams we did play, I wasn't put in or anything like that, like given the opportunity. But, I mean, there's times where I would pinch hit late games. I mean, Wichita, Northwestern, a couple other games where I got in at like the 9th inning. And, I mean, it's a very tough spot to be in. And, I mean, it's the worst spot to be in, especially in a cold weather game where you see Wichita's ace closer throwing 97, and you're like, all right, well, it's your turn. Go hit. And, I mean, I didn't succeed or didn't show what I was capable of. And then me and the coach didn't see eye to eye after that, and it was just going downhill from there, and I knew how to change it.
So moving forward, been there for a year or two, if I remember correctly, I think 2 years.
Yep.
Didn't see eye to eye. So what made your transfer process pick Grandview over other NAI schools, D3 schools close to home?
Yeah. I mean, I got talked to about a lot of schools, a lot of Minnesota schools, Jamestown and North Dakota, a lot of South Dakota schools. But Grandview was the one that I knew prior. I mean, they wanted me out of high school right away. I have a family history from there. My dad went there from 89 to 91, I believe. My brother went there in 2020. So it's like kind of like a family bonding here a little bit. So like I already knew that I was going to get a good scholarship from them and that it'd be a good environment there. And I also knew every coach. So that was also a beneficial thing that in my mind that I don't need to restart from absolutely nothing and rebuild. But so that kind of had that impact of me choosing Grandview. And I mean, from having another teammate of mine back in high school on the team is going to be another factor in my choosing. So that was a really big thing that I wanted to see at Grandview, and that's why I chose it.
Because how we met was a professor named Guy Cunningham. we had sex ed with them, and the sex ed class, and it's one of the requirements for a psychology minor. I don't know if it was a requirement for your criminal justice major.
It wasn't from a major. It was just for the school. Same with like world religion.
Oh, so we took that class, and a couple times I looked back, he's just passed out asleep, and I was like, "You tired?" Yeah, long weekend for games.
You know the funny thing is,
he never stopped class. He always shrugged his shoulders.
Well, not even that. Yeah, like that man he had his slides up, like his PowerPoint, and I don't think one time he switched slides.
It was always on slide one.
It was just
always on slide one.
Slide one. I mean, he just talked from the heart, man. Like he talked about anything and everything. But the funny thing is, last year I would do that. I would fall asleep in class, and I mean, some days I would be like, I just don't want to listen to anything, or I don't have homework to do, so I just relaxed, and instead of like taking notes, I just put my head back and I was out. But this year I haven't done that at all.
Really?
Like I'm excited. Like,
I mean, you're more in your major now, more of the criminal justice area.
Yeah, but I mean, last year I had 18 credits, an internship that lasted like 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. some nights, or 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm like, yeah, it's just long nights, but I never got tired, which is weird because usually I did, even through high school. So,
yeah, because That was by far. I will send pictures to like Brooke.
Of course.
And
I bet you still have some.
I actually don't. I don't know if Brooke's saying them, but he would be like, "Of course he is." That was the best part. I was like, he's a little tired, but and then ever since we kind of grew closer with our friendship.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we asked. Well, what really said it? Us
no. You know what really said it? It's
the Drake. When we went to Drake, I was literally about to say that for the first test when Grandview lost to Wi-Fi, and I had to ask. I had to ask one of my friends over at Drake, and she was about to go out with her boyfriend at the time to go for Moscow Mules, and she's like, "You guys can come if you want." After you guys are done, you're like, I'm only 20.
Yeah, and you're like, God, you're young. I'm like, you're old.
I was like, dude, I am 22, 23. I was like, jeez, what
Yeah.
am I doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that's what Manny set us. And then
You know the funny thing about that?
We failed.
Oh, it was miserable.
We failed.
And you know the thing that made it so funny is when he handed us the tests. It was a booklet, like a whole Bible. I'm like, what? You looked at me, you're like, praise to God. I don't even know how to do this.
The best part is after the test, we were like, did you study this? We're like, no, we didn't study the right thing.
Yeah, we studied I think, who made that?
It's just softball girl. I don't know her name. She's a pitcher.
Yeah, it was awful. We thought we were like, oh, we're on top of this thing. No,
it did not help.
And you know the thing is, it was like, what was it, 19 questions of multiple choice, and then
19 questions of part A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, and then it's like the other 4 or 5 pages were
an essay,
short answers. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
And then
I wasn't prepared.
And everyone sent him an email saying like, hey, we lost Wi-Fi. And he's like, not my fault.
Yeah.
And the next day, the day before the test, he's like, so this is what needs to happen. You need to address it like a business, saying, Dear Miss, I was like, I'm not going to put dear for an email. I'm just going to say, hey, we lost Wi-Fi. Because I can't remember who he yelled at.
I don't even know.
Because he said, make sure it's a business professional email saying you're putting dear. I was like, oh, yeah. Why? But that was by far the funniest thing. And then we just got closer, and then we made a little group chat with our little friends in there. And
yeah, we even studied at night sometimes.
With everyone practically.
Yeah.
There was during dead week, the week before finals, we would be in a place called CJ's here, just studying until 2 a.m. Doing our final projects, final papers, whatever. And
I remember you would always be texting me like 11, 12. Hey, you still coming down? I'm like, dude, it's midnight. Yep, we're still here for another 2 hours. All right, I'm coming.
It was honestly one of the most fun.
Oh yeah,
was doing that last year.
And half the time you guys didn't even do work.
No, we just talked.
No, you just talked.
Yeah, because I was done one day, and I was like, I'm finally done. Like I'm done with school, turn it in. And then more people just had homework.
That was finals. Yeah.
I just sat down there and talk. I was like, you guys need help? They're like, no. It was one of the most fun things we did down there the last semester.
Yeah.
All right. What made you stay motivated to pursue baseball in a collegiate setting?
Honestly, staying motivated. A lot of it's the motivation of doing well in college, getting my degree, but also having baseball to kind of help me fulfill that career path, like paying for my college. That was a big thing for me, and I was like, all right, well, if this is going to be it, I got to teach it like a profession, that I have to. It's an everyday thing. It's like it's a job, so like I see it as something that if it's a job for me, I'm going to do it my best, give it all every single day. And I mean, some days you're going to feel crappy. Some days you're going to feel off. Like you're not going to feel the best every single day. So give it what you can in that certain day, and then move on to the next.
I understand. That's the same thing with bowling. I mean, I just took it like a job. Oh, Jesus, that voice cracked.
Oh, dude, I had a couple of those at the games the weekend, like the first week of Viterbo. Oh, my God. I was yelling, and they're like, dude, that's 2 now? I'm like, dude, I think I'm still growing.
Like yelling like 2 outs or like
My dreams of being 6 foot is still in the picture.
were you yelling like 2 outs or like yelling the defensive plays like for like first and third?
No. It was cheering guys on. I'd be like, let's go. And then oh. And then, yeah, it was bad. I got ripped on a couple times.
But yeah, I understand from the bowling aspect, treating it like a job. This semester or this year is pretty hard just because of internships. I'm doing a year-long, quote-unquote year-long internship with them. It's pretty hard. I mean.
Yeah, the first time, so I remember my freshman year at SDSU, like, I really got to experience what a college baseball team is like, especially at that level. It's a business. Like, they don't care of who you are. If you show up, you do your thing, they're gonna love you. If you fail, like, they'll rip into you, and it's something you have to get over. And of course, it builds your mental state of mind, your mental toughness. But like, there was a peak at SDSU where I got broken. Like, it sucks. But, here it's been great. I've been loving the community, been loving the culture, what we started last year with, like, the year I was there.
You guys were 31-18 last year, the first time in a winning season.
I think it was 13. 31-18?
You guys were 31-18, 18-13 in conference, or 18-10 in conference.
Oh.
So...
Yeah, we turned it around big time.
You completely going from like a 5 to 10 win season to 30. I'm looking right now so we can be more exact. But again, just turning the program around from the culture 31-16, 18-10 in conference.
Yeah.
And just turning around is a big thing. I mean, even it can start from a new coach all the way till just new players, and then you guys were 18-26 the year before. So I mean,
huge turnaround. Yeah,
180.
Yeah, the guys we brought in are just dogs. It just helped the community. And I feel like everyone bought into a role, and they fulfilled that role, and that's why we were so good. Like, last year we had guys. If one guy had a bad day, we had guys behind each other, backing each other up. And that was the thing last year. I look back in the first 2 weeks, like, we had a few guys, even myself, like, wasn't hitting to our best performance. Even Florida. And guys would just step up. And that was a big deal about last year. They would step up in big spots and do their job.
Because just looking at the stats, in 2022, you guys had, I think, 8 or 10 home runs. I don't have that stats up.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys went 2-13 for your first 15 games. Last year, you guys had 8 home runs over a weekend at Florida.
Yeah,
and you guys went 10-3 for your first games.
No. I think we only lost one game within the first 13.
I'm going all the way to Iowa when you went to Iowa.
Yeah.
So Iowa was game 13.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
that was.
The funny, no, not the funny thing, but that game was actually really fun. I loved playing Iowa.
And here's the sad part. I don't think you guys can play Iowa at Iowa this year. I think you guys are going to Perfect Game Prospect Meadows because their stadium's getting renovated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you might be going to Cedar Rapids instead of Iowa City, which that's where Perfect Game's at, and it's still an all-turf field. So
yeah, it's always good to play those teams.
You get to see the competition.
Even this year, from last year to this year, the whole schedule of who are we playing has changed to we want to see better guys,
you kind of
better
saw it
teams.
this weekend.
Yep. And this weekend was a learning point. It's either a wake up or we're gonna go downhill from
Real
here.
Quick.
Yep, exactly. So.
Because you guys played the number 1 ranked baseball team. We go to Florida.
Yeah, we do. Actually, I don't think they're going to be ranked number 1 because they lost 1 or 2 games recently. Oh. Yeah. But, it's still they're going to be a top 10, top 20 team. They're going to be dominant, and we'll see how we go from coming back from this weekend to next weekend with Northwestern College.
Yeah, you guys play them 4 times
Yep,
according to your schedule.
two doubleheaders.
Yeah, that's
Friday, Saturday.
That's so much. Going against one team, so you're literally going to see all their pitchers, and they're going to see all your pitchers, so you kind of see what everyone has.
Well, the thing is, in NAIA ball, it's 14 innings straight, like 2-2 for each day. And at D1, it's 9 innings. So they're 3-4 hours each game. Like 7, you don't understand how quick 7 innings are. Like that's the thing about baseball. Anybody can beat anyone at certain times. And we just got to get ahead. I mean, Northwestern College is going to be a great team to play to get our minds where we want it to be and on the road before we go to Florida.
Yeah, just got to start out hot. I mean, last year there would be a couple times, at least in the first 3 innings, you guys were all expecting a home run.
Yeah,
almost every game. The games I went to, I mean, it was at least before pitch 10 happened, there was at least 1 home run.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you
not,
look at Viterbo and we had Eric Brockmeyer go off, I think his first AB, like, wow, there it is. I mean, Brock Johnson had a hell of a weekend. I think he had 1 or 2 bombs. Same with Nolan Drill, 1 or 2 bombs. Like, we had guys hitting the ball extremely well.
And this will kind of lead up to our next segment. What's your favorite memory, past or present, of baseball? I can tell you my favorite memory of you was last year. Me and Johnny, one of my roommates, and he was actually on the podcast. He was on episode 2, if you guys want to listen back. We went to a game. It was cold. I'm going to be honest. It was kind of cold.
No, it was sunny, though.
It was sunny but cold.
Yeah.
Because I was still wearing my stocking cap and gloves. Brock absolutely smokes this ball. Even off the bat, we looked at each other like, that's gone. And you can see Brock start jogging to first base, hit top of the fence and bounced it. Only got a single off hitting the fence. That's my favorite memory. And just hearing all of his teammates just chatter on him. And because you guys were down at that point.
No, we were up. You
guys were up? I thought you guys were down. And because of that hit, everyone started having more fun, which made you actually go way more up.
No, I think that was the first game. First game we won. The second game we were like closer and we were down. But the worst part about that, it's in NAIA ball, catchers get ran for a courtesy. So once I knew I hit it, I was like, God dang it. I'm going to get reamed when I get back in the dugout. And, of course, like, even before I got down in the dugout, our coach was just lighting me up. But I deserved every bit of it. And, like, I knew I did wrong. But it was, like, one of those things where I thought I had it and I top spun the ball a little bit too much. And, man, I wish that the window was blowing out a little bit more.
So do you want to explain what top spinning the ball is for the people that don't know?
It's just the way you hit a ball. Like, if you hit it perfect, it's going to go out like a knuckleball in a way. Like, that's where you just smack it. But top spinning the ball creates that top spin. So it's like you hitting it well, but more on top of the ball. And it creates that movement going down. And so when the ball is hit, that the friction of that ball with it spinning would create it to go down. And, of course, if it's backspun the ball, there's such a thing as true backspin when you hit it up in the air, and it's going to carry it a little bit more if it has that backspin.
Yeah, but that was by far my favorite memory. What's yours? Could be past or present, or could happen over this weekend if you wanted to, or could happen as soon as you started at T-ball.
No, I'll talk about, my favorite memory so far, let's talk about this team, was probably last year when we won the tournament. And, it's just seeing that accomplishment where we know what we can do now, really, like, stood out to me. And, like, this team was a bomb like no other. And that's what we were. We were all close to one another. And, we competed every pitch, every ball hit to us. Like, it was a gritty team that I loved. Our energy was great. We had bumps throughout the year, but, if you looked at it, like, it was just a couple games here, couple games there. It wasn't no big series that we lost. I mean, we just grinded through the whole year, and we had a great year, actually. And winning that tournament, I mean, going to the the NAI World Series was
done in
yep.
Was it Missouri?
Missouri, yep.
Missouri?
That was Missouri was our conference tournament.
Oh, okay.
But just making to the opener round was great to see, and now we have bigger, better expectations of what we need to do. But we just got to follow through and play with that gritness again.
It was definitely a fun year. Definitely a complete 180.
Oh yeah,
and you can definitely tell the attitude's changed. A lot of the players still respect 40 a lot, but they kind of were ready for a change for, I don't want to say a younger coach, but a younger coach in a way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. you know, it was funny coming into getting recruited out of high school from Grandview. I always heard rumors of 40 telling the players they have to clean shave, cut hair, everything, old school baseball. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was pretty funny. But, I mean, if you go back, 40 was my dad's coach. So that's our little connection we had. I mean, he's been here for, 47 years it was?
47 years, and then he also coached high school baseball for 2025, and he was inducted to the Iowa High School Baseball Hall of Fame.
So high school and college is awesome. He's known everywhere.
And he's still around. I mean, he helps out with the
Yep.
He helps out.
Yeah,
softball,
he's assistant there
with his son. So.
Yep. 20 is who we call him.
Half of him.
Yep, exactly. It's his son. It's half, so it's 20. But yeah, it was just like a family bond. I mean, 40, he was an amazing coach. But there's always time to let the younger generation come in and change the program around, and I think that's what Brinker has done so far. I mean, we have our lumps throughout the years. We have learning points where we can change things, and that's just the true belief of baseball. I mean, it's a game of adjustments, what 40 always said.
Mm-hmm. And it is. I mean, whoever can adjust to the person that's throwing. So, if you're a batter, how fast can you adjust to the person that's throwing to you? So, you're going to have probably a pitcher that throws 93, 94, and then all of a sudden you might have a reliever that comes in throwing about 87 to 88. I mean, even though it's a 5 to 6 mile per hour difference, it's still big in a batter's eye.
Well, I mean, even in this division of ball, I mean, you guys get from ranging of topping 96 or so you'll see throughout the year, or the lowest would be a 60. I mean, yeah, no, I'm serious. We have, let's talk about our ace at Grandview. I mean, probably Drew Kahn. He throws low 90s, high 8s, probably max out 93 on a really good year. I mean, depends on how good he's thrown so far. I mean, last year I think he got up to there. And then we have our dog of a closer, Cade Armstrong, that doesn't throw hard, but he paints well. Left-hander, submarine guy. He's just a funky guy. And that's what you're going to see in every division here. It's funky.
A funky lefty.
Mm-hmm.
Me and the coaches back at home, we say that if there's a lefty has a little bit off of a delivery, it throws a batter off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, me and Cade go at it each time we have a live together, if I'm facing him or hitting against him. I mean, it's a great time. I mean, the last time we faced each other, I think we had a 12-pitch AB. And, I mean, of course, I think I ended up hitting a single up the middle off of him. But it was just one of those things. He's just a crafty lefty, and he can pinpoint his changeup. He can pinpoint his slider. He has a good. He has a little bit of run on his fastball, but I mean, just the way he throws is just funky, and that's the thing about NAI. You're going to have that funk. You're going to have that dominance of top ace. It's crazy. You get everything.
And with you being a lefty, how hard is seeing a lefty, or is it starting to become pretty normal?
It's starting to become. I mean, it is normal. I mean, the last 2 games I played this year, I've seen pretty much only lefties, and you just have to get comfortable with it. Got to trust it. But it's just patience in a way. Like you got to be. It's weird, but you just got to grind it out.
Because for me, I didn't make it past the college, or didn't make it past high school. Never went to play college ball. Whenever I saw a lefty in high school, I knew I was like, this ain't good. This ain't good at all. And they might have a normal delivery, and then all of a sudden, right before they throw the ball,
it's more of confidence in yourself to doing it. I mean, I remember in high school, I had that struggle a little bit with lefties where I was afraid of the ball hitting me. But like I would always not move. Like I get hit a lot. I think I had like 23 hit by pitches my last year of high school. It was junior year, but we didn't have a senior season due to COVID. But I got hit so many times I just didn't move. But the confidence grew and grew each year from regular season, fall season, or summer season. Like I play all year round, so it's like it's getting really easy, more, I want to say, getting used to it, and it's becoming natural.
For you being a catcher, how important is sleep? Because of like growing up there in age, I'm not saying you're old, but getting up there in age, how shot are your knees after some games? Maybe after a doubleheader.
Honestly, I mean, the thing is, we catch a lot in our practices. I mean, it could be 4 times a week. We would have to be catching something. I mean, we catch. I think actually no. It's every practice we have something to work on with catchers. So we're going to be in that squatting stance a lot of times. In a game situation, you don't really feel it anymore. Like I know I'm getting old. And I'm not even that old. 21 years old, so...
24 this year.
Yeah, you are. You're like a grandpa here.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be here for 2 more years, too, because of grad school.
I got 1 more year. But...
Are you doing a is that not your COVID year? Is that a redshirt year?
Yeah. My freshman year. Yeah, so, that was my redshirt medical.
I'll watch you play a couple of games.
Yep. No, my knees are doing well so far. I mean, I've had issues...
I mean, it's only game 4 at this point, so like obviously games haven't really kicked off.
I mean, I caught 45 games last year. Actually, probably a little bit less.
You had 46 games you played. So.
Oh, so yeah, it would be around 38 or so.
Yeah, so some just might be DHing or something.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah. And I mean, I didn't have a struggle catching all those games. I mean, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be wear and tear on your body, but at the end of the day, you'll be fine. I mean, for me, I know this is different for other people, but I mean, when we're on the road, yeah, I get a lot of sleep. But when I'm back at Grandview, I don't get much sleep. I don't. I mean, even last semester, when I told you I had that internship where I go all night, I mean, I usually stayed up till 2, 3 a.m. every day. It was just used to, and I still do today. I know I'll do it tonight. Oops. But sleep is good for you. And throughout the day, I'm lucky I have a good enough class schedule where I could take a nap before practice. And sometimes I do. I mean, it's always catching up. Mm-hmm. So if I stay up really late, I still get a little bit of sleep during the day, too, after my classes or so. Or when I do sleep in till 10:30, 11 o'clock, like, that's plenty of sleep for me.
So are you the typical 5 to 6 hours of sleep and you'll be okay, you'll be perfectly function, or do you think you can function with less amount of sleep? Even though
I can function with less. I mean...
You might have to take naps, but...
Yeah, I mean, last year, most nights or most days, I had like 3 hours of sleep. Mm-hmm. But on like a couple days, it would be around 4 to 6. 6 is just plentiful for me. And I know there's a statistic of, I think it's like 8.
7 to 9.
Yeah.
Is what you're supposed to get.
Yeah.
So.
Supposed to. But, I mean, everybody's different. I function well. I mean, granted, I do have a coffee. I do have an energy drink.
How do you like your coffee is the big question. I go straight black.
I have grown to like black, but I'm a creamer guy. Oh, yeah. It's so good.
Because growing up, my dad was always, so like my dad did construction growing up. He would have his coffee, and it was always straight black.
Oh,
and it was cold. It'd sometimes be a little cold, and I would just guzzle that down. Dude, it was so good.
Okay, real question.
I was maybe like 7 or 8 at the
So
time.
you like it iced or you like it hot?
Oh, hot. Always hot.
In the morning, on a cold night, yeah.
Doesn't matter. Hot, or if it's the most ice I'll do is blended. So, is that like a frappuccino or cappuccino? I don't know. So, blended. That's the most ice I'll do.
Okay. So, like, when I had my internship, like, I would have a energy drink at 8 p.m. before I got on.
Do you have a favorite one?
The Rain
Reigns.
brand of Rainbow Sherbet. Love that. Or just a natural, original Monster. I've been grown to like that, and a lot of people hate it. I used to rip on a kid back at SDSU for him drinking every day the original Monster drinks. And man, like, there was one day, I don't know what got over me, but I'm like, I want to try it again just to make sure, like, I'm not a lunatic. And I tried it. I'm like, honestly, this is really good. Like, it's one of those drinks that it's going to kick you in the ass a little bit, but it's really good. I enjoy it. I loved it. And now I just like, it's a normal flavor. It's not I don't want to say sugar, but it's not artificial taste. It's not like, cotton candy. Like, I'm not a big fan of those. But Rainbow Sherbet, I always loved like sherbet ice cream. So like, I love that flavor. So those two are my go-tos for sure.
I don't drink energy drinks. I have this mix called Emerge, which is about a scoop and a half of pre-workout. Just no beta in it, so you don't get that tingly feeling.
I love that tingling feeling. The
itchiness. As soon as you take it, if you don't eat, like for my past experiences, if you don't eat, my stomach hurts because of how much caffeine is in it.
Really?
There's so much. Like, I'm alert. Like, I can be like, and there's literally a warning on it saying, do not take after 6 p.m. I can see why, because you are up for the next at least. You don't, and it's a slow crash. You don't have that high coffee and then all of a sudden crash at that 2 or 3 o'clock. It's a slowly, so you know when you're coming down. But so like it literally gets you throughout the entire workday. But like you won't nap. You won't. You're wide awake.
So okay, let me tell you. Do you fall asleep easily?
No, there'd be certain nights I'll struggle because like. I sleep with a TV on. I know it's not bad.
Noise.
I love I have to have noise in the back.
Yeah.
Like
my girl's with the fan. She needs that fan noise. But like for me, like I could sleep wherever, whenever, how much noise. Like if I have some headphones, maybe like play some music. But normally, I just fall asleep really easily.
Black room and everything.
Yep.
Oh jeez.
I mean, even my room some nights. I mean, I have my LEDs on 24/7, and I turn it all the way down. But I mean, there's some nights I can turn it off and just fall asleep easily. Like I don't need a fan. I don't need anything. I just once my head hits the pillow, it's out. I'm lucky enough to have that.
So like, I don't care about temperature at all because back at home, my bedroom there's no AC. So whatever the temperature is outside, it's in my room.
Well, do you have the fan? You have the window open?
I can't. So I have like 3 fans blowing on me, but it doesn't help because it's just blowing the hot air on me. So like I can sleep in any temperature. I might be dripping sweat, but I can sleep in it. But if it's too cold,
you don't like it cold?
No, I can do it cold, but too cold to the point where I'm like I'm going to like feel like I'm an ice cube. That's not.
Oh come on now.
No.
So speaking of that,
I also get sick really easily. So like that's why I have a shot immune system.
I don't.
So if it's too cold and I don't have a shirt on because of that, it's not good.
Yeah, and when we go when we travel for baseball for our weekend series,
Who's your roommate with it?
I have two. So we have Carson Waddell and then Brooke Heinen. Yeah, great room. But I mean, the first thing we do when we get in the room is we crank down the heat.
Are you guys sharing? Is one person on the floor, or is everyone on the bed?
So
'Cause whoever's on the floor, I bet it's not so close to the AC.
well, so I'm usually by myself because I don't know. Last year they just had this thing where they would go. We made this deal of whoever has a better day, and of course, Carson and Brooke both had a great day. Like, I think they went like 3 for 4 or something like that, and I went for like 1 for 3. So of course they had a better day, and they're like, you know what? Since we both had a good day, we're just gonna stay together, and that just carried on to the next. And I don't question their ability or what they say. I get my own bed, and I like that. So unless they want to change, they can change it, but they just don't. So I get
superstitions.
Yep, literally. But we cranked down the AC. Like, I mean, last weekend we had the AC at 58.
That's too cold.
Oh no, it was great.
So like back in the room, we have ours like at 64, 65, and
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm walking around with sweatpants, sweatshirt, socks,
So
and
good.
and my sweatpants tucked into my socks. I'm freezing.
There's a couple times when I start gaming, and then within the first hour, like my legs start shaking because our room's pretty cold. Like I have a gaming sweater where I mean it's just grummy and it's lightweight, something to put on over my body because I'm not gonna have anything on. So
Probably over your head so you don't get the headset.
no.
Oh.
I just rip the headset normally because I mean I'm going to bed anyways. So when I wake up, my hair's already gonna be crappy as is, especially when I go to workouts. Like it's awful.
That's like an afro.
Yeah, oh no, it's more like I don't even know how to describe it. Flattened.
So you kind of mentioned naps. What's the ideal nap for you?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay, because last week they were saying like an hour and a half because it takes you like 20 minutes to get ready for bed and like the hour minutes.
You know, the thing is, the best naps are the ones that are unexpected or like 10 minutes long.
Oh yeah. And you get up, you're like, what just happened? Like your hand is like all
Yeah, you're going to have those bed sheets mounted in your face. Like, oh yeah.
You get those lines.
Yep.
I do agree. Those are probably the best naps. And like the best for me, whenever the best time I ever sleep, like I'm super, super tired, I'll start drooling. I start drooling.
I only drool for naps, man. I'm telling you, that's when I like get the deepest of sleep, and it's 45 minutes max. Like, I mean, of course, I've gone longer naps, but like if I want to feel really good, a short nap is always the best nap.
What time do you like waking up? I think if I wake up past 9 o'clock, I feel like I missed the entire morning.
Oh yeah. For school, I mean, I don't do anything, so I do wake up at 10 o'clock, but I will not stay into bed past 11. Like I would wake up and I would instantly get ready for the day. Like it's not me spending my time in bed until noon or to practice time. Like I need to do something. I mean, when I'm back home, it's like I wake up at like 8. Like I was a morning person. I'm a morning person and a night owl, like all in one. Like I don't sleep. Like even in the summer, it's spend my nights out until 2, 3 a.m. Wake up at 8. Actually, I would have work at like 7 a.m. sometimes. So it's like late nights, 4 hours of sleep, drive, spend a 9-hour shift or an 8-hour shift, get off at like 3 or 4 or so, and then baseball. Like it's a constant thing.
Because for me, like when I game, I sit on my bed and I game. But
I can't sit on my bed.
Well, I have a 65-inch TV with the PS5, so I'm just sitting there. I'm like, because I don't have a monitor yet, which I do. Which I want to get one next year. Which I do want to get a monitor. But other than that, I'm like,
It changes your world. Trust.
There's a few things to that. So like, and I coach high school baseball at that as well, like I said, and there'll be times where like I don't even see it. Like I go to bed as soon as I get back because I know I'm like I have to get up at 6 a.m. to at least work out before another 12-hour day on the baseball field. Like here I get made fun of, like you kind of mentioned it. Like people call me grandpa because I go to bed roughly around 9:30. I'm in bed already.
You know, the funny thing is, I mean, Brooke, he's gonna be a grandpa here next year. But he's like, how do you even function? I was like, I just do it. Like that's the thing. You don't put your head down. You just walk forward and keep going. Like that's just how it is. Like cry about it later. I don't care. Just do it.
Yeah, I go to bed, but I also wake up roughly around 5:30 to get ready for weights, and I don't usually weightlift in the morning now. I do a walk. I do the treadmill. I'm like 3.1 to 3.3 speed, all the way incline. I just walk for about 45 minutes, just trying to lose weight, and then later in the afternoon, my Sundays and Mondays are my days off, just because Sundays are just doing a lot of work, and Mondays this is when I'm recording, so that's my days off, and I just get it all ready, but. Going into that, kind of leading the way, what does your weightlifting / training look like in season, off season? I know you play summer ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or fall, kind of summer / fall ball.
I'd hate to admit this, but ever since SDSU had the best program I've ever witnessed in sport-based things with me. Like even in high school, like I was weightlifted with my wrestling coach, and he was a Mankato national champion for wrestling. Like his dietary was amazing. He had his weightlifting plans, nutrition, like all this. Like he taught me how to cut weight properly. He taught me how to eat properly. He taught me how to weightlift, like all that. Like from high school to SDSU, like I loved it. And here it's a bit different of the style of how we lift. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get your generic of like squats, front squat, back squat, goblet squat, Bulgarian split squat, like all these. You're gonna get your natural big lift in, but it's tough with 70 guys on the roster, so it's minimized in a way, and a lot of people don't know or aren't fully into that. Like some people just half-ass things, and I'm like, dude, you're here to work. Do your work. But I mean, it's more of you're pushing your own self here than back at SDSU where everyone was pushing your. I mean, we maxed out so many times at SDSU. Like, it's insane. I mean, that's where we got our peak performances. Like, just heading. I mean, here it's we're gonna max out probably at the end of the year. Like, so we maxed out a week prior to our first game, which was not this last week, but a week before.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And that was the thing. Like, it's more of like a keep your body in shape movements and agilities, performing your everyday movements, and just strengthening your ligaments, your knees, your arms, your body, triceps, biceps, forearms, like anything like that. It's more of just keeping it in shape than, like, if you want to push yourself, you can push yourself, and that's what I try to do every day.
So what does your training look like?
Training.
I should say catch, because like you're a catcher.
Oh,
you also hit
for baseball.
Yeah. So what does your training look like? Because you already talked about weightlifting, how it's a little bit different. But like, is there anything else you want to put on with the weightlifting? Like, do you do any of it back at home, or is that mainly?
Yeah. So I do. There's a lot of times. So the area of where I work before I go into my law enforcement degree or career. Sorry, not degree.
Not yet.
Not yet. But before I go into that, like, I've been working at this local patio town, and I'm a yard boy where I run a front end loader, like I run forklifts. Like, it's a great outdoor construction kind of based job where you do heavy lifting 24/7. But I also, like, there's a couple times where me and my buddy we would go, or it's either me and my buddy or me and my brother, we would go to our local gym and do whatever we want in a way, which that's kind of biased because my brother, there's no leg days. There is no leg day for him. So it's all upper body, tricep, bicep, back, shoulders, no core. Like, I was like, come on, man. Like, it's always like, just like get the broadest of the shoulders. Like, I mean,
hey, leg day though.
yeah, like, no, and there's a time where we went, like, this is going to be our 4th time throughout the week we're going to the gym. And, I mean, we hit everything already throughout the week. I'm like, so leg day? He goes, no. Who are you? I'm like, dude. I was like, you're not doing anything. So, I mean, last summer, I didn't hit legs once. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, the first week I was here, we we hit legs the first day. I couldn't walk for like 3 days, man. Like, my legs were shot. But, I mean, now, like, I mean, I still try to do every movement that I can, especially over the summer. I mean, for this year, getting old, I have a plan in mind of what I want to do, like, at least get movements. Maybe I want to kind of train, like, hiking, biking. Like, I used to do that back in high school where I would run a lot, I would bike a lot. And, man, I had this huge mountain bike, like snow tires and all. Like, it's a thick boy.
Full on hike bike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thick boy. But I kind of want to start doing that again this summer. I mean, we have trails all around Minnesota, so it's, like, really good to go out there and get some nature views or whatever. Just have fun with it. I mean, I love biking still. Hate running.
I hate running too. I hate it. I'd rather go for walks. People say let's go for a run. I was like, I'll walk sounds better. Yeah. And we can last longer.
Exactly. And I hate running on a treadmill. I hate just running.
Hey, you got one stolen base. That's all that matters.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, coach won't let me run. I'm pretty fast. I'm pretty good at it, but he won't let me run. I always rip onto him a little bit, but hey, when's my time? When is the flash gonna come out? But
I gotta show off the wheel somehow. I need one stolen base.
Hey, I got one last year, so I gotta get maybe 2 this year.
You gotta tell him that thing.
So when we go to play Iowa, there is no courtesy catcher or courtesy runner for the catcher, so it's gonna be. I might have to steal big there.
Let the wheels hit. Steal first, go to second. Steal second, go to third.
Exactly. No.
And then steal home.
Third isn't pushing it. I'll steal second. Yeah.
But so what does your training look like for catchers in season, summertime, or like what are some good catching drills that not a lot of people know? Because I'm pretty sure my nephew listens to this. He wants to be a catcher. So like, what are some good catching drills?
I mean, a lot of the training we do, besides our bullpen catching, our live catching, it's a lot of like movements you have to create yourself into. Like, we do a lot of blocking drills. We do a lot of receiving actually. And
what do you do with that then? Because like back at home, we do tennis balls. A little bit of tennis.
So we start off with like hand movements without the glove. We can do short tosses or we can do like a rapid toss where you just stick, drop, stick, drop, stick, drop. But we can also do like weighted balls. Like for like the pitchers for plyos, we use those kind of balls where we can stick and strengthen our wrist, strengthen our forearm, kind of receiving those low ones, sticking the high ones, like work inside out. A lot of blocking drills, like I said, receiving, like I said, and strengthening your arm. I mean, you're going to be throwing a lot with the pitchers, so.
You're throwing essentially more than the pitchers. Actually.
Yep.
Just not as fast.
Yep. I mean, there's a couple times where you get mad at something and try to whip it back harder than it came at you, but that doesn't always work out well when guys throw mid to upper 80s to 90s.
Is that one of your 5 errors from last year?
Negative.
Oh.
Nope. I try not to miss the pitcher because that's just embarrassing if I do.
So do you want to talk a little bit more of your fall/summer ball you do? For like, is it that semi-pro team?
Or no, it's not semi-pro. It's amateur ball,
there you go.
Which is like town ball in Minnesota, and Minnesota is really big. Shout out Miesville Mudhens, but our team in Miesville, it's a great culture. I mean, town of 200 people, max 200.
Yeah, I was going to go
very small town.
I was going to go to a couple games. I was like, send me the schedule. Never got the schedule. I was like, okay.
You didn't ask.
I said before the end of the year.
Oh.
I was like, hey, send me the schedule. Like, I will want to get it. Never got it. I was like, okay.
Oops.
Because it's like only a 3.5 hour drive. It's
not bad. But the thing is, like, our games are, I think it's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday or so.
Saturdays are the only ones I'll be able to go.
And they, like, I think it's, I can't remember. But a lot of times we start at like 7 p.m.
Obviously,
like, those Friday, Saturday games are at like 7 p.m. and it's like a lot of people show up. Like, so like I said, the town's like 200 max people. Our games get up to like 400 or 500 people coming there, and it's like, it's unbelievable. It's like, there was a time where I was warming up a pitcher, and there was this older couple that were walking down the line, and they got up to the fence line, and they're like, hey, how are you? Like, are you the catcher here? I'm like, yep. And they're like, yeah, we just moved back from Florida. I mean, we were raised here in Minnesota, but went down to Florida for like 2 decades. And then they're like, yeah, we always wanted to come to a Measville game, so we moved back to Minnesota, and they live in Shakopee, which is like an hour away. And they're like, we just wanted to come out for a game. And it's a 7 p.m. game weekend. I'm like, you drove an hour? Like, it's crazy. Everyone knows. I mean, there's even a restaurant in Shakopee that has like all these amateur ball leagues or ballparks in the restaurant menu. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So
is that where you mainly get all your training in the off season? It's just
correct.
Playing?
Yeah, just playing. I mean, we play close to 30, 40 games.
I think that's one way. It's not like football where it's like your body kind of needs time to rest, baseball is like you can have arm day rest and all stuff. Like, but playing is the way to get better for hitting at least.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the thing is, like, we don't practice for town ball. It's just mainly games. Like, you just show up to the games. Whoever shows up plays. Like, it's fun. It's great. You have a great community. I mean, I love our crowd that we have at Measville. I mean, it's unlike no other.
Who was the most famous person you played with? You kind of told me last semester or last year.
I mean, we have Matt Vanderbosch, who played AAA. Sprout, who's another coach. We have Joy Warner, who played. He's I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer at Mankato, but he was an All-American there. I mean, we have guys that played high AAAs, MLB guys. Like, there's a guy called Matt Meyer, I believe. Max Meyer? No, Matt Meyer. He played AAA. I'm a left-timer, thrower, pitcher. Like, hums it still at like 85 at like 40 years old. Like, we have guys that are as young as 17 to 18 years old. 2 guys are 42. Like, old guys just still smashing balls. I mean, we have a guy who holds all the records at Augustana for hitting. Like, it's pretty cool.
Who was the toughest person you ever played against? I'll go first while you think about it, because you played against probably a lot of people. 2 of them come in mind. It's Calvin Harris. He was the catcher for Ole Miss. Played against them. He went 3 for 4 with three bombs. And then the next person was TJ Sycamore. He's a lefty. He's now in the AAA for the Yankees. Mm-hmm. So lefty, hums it at least 96, 97 in high school. I don't know if he's still with the Yankees, but like he was a dog for them. Like, he only allowed 4 stolen bases all his career.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he cheated a little bit. He had that 45 degree, and we didn't know if he was going to the plate or not because he always did a slide step. And whenever he picked his leg up,
So, I mean, I played against really hot, like, top-notch guys. I mean, we have Max Meyer, who got drafted 2020, I believe, 3rd overall pick. I mean, he is at Marlins. I mean, he actually had he started 2 years ago, but had Tommy John, the second start of the year for him, like 10 pitches in, like it sucked to see. I play against Drew Gilbert, who's with the Mets now, big Tennessee guy, bat flip guy of the year, like unbelievable. Sam Carlson, he was a Burnsville kid who went to North Carolina. We had another guy, Will Frisch, another pitcher that went to the Cubs. I mean, there's guys all around that I played against. I mean, I probably can't remember all the guys that went D1 who are in the minor leagues or in the top-notch MLB. Like, there's so many that I played against. It's unbelievable.
So Minnesota is a pretty good baseball state, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right.
Yeah. I mean, granted, like, the school I went to, we were big enough where we had a lot of guys, and we were the top league, so we would face guys that threw 94, 95. There's a guy, Trent Sherbor, whatever his name is. I'm kind of blanking on it. But he's at Minnesota. There's a couple guys I play ball with that are from Minnesota. There's a guy at Wichita State. Just all around. Like, there's so many.
Oh.
Sherbol.
Something like that.
I'm still trying to think of it. Man.
Well, going to the next question. What does nutrition look like in season, off season? I know you're a big chicken salad guy at Grandview.
Oh, I love chicken salad at Grandview. Shout out to the...
It's always homemade, too. She will make it. She'll be like, this is homemade now. Don't forget. We're like, oh, we know. Put that on. It's always that chicken salad wrap. Whenever they have it, dude, it just goes crazy.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to that lunch lady, whoever made those chicken salads. Man, last year she was the one. Nutrition for me has gotten sloppy. Yeah. Well, I mean, from high school where I used to watch every little intake I had, I mean, throughout wrestling season too, like I'd watch everything.
What would you wrestle in high school?
Freshman year I was 132. No, 126 freshman year. Sophomore I was 138. Junior year I was 145. Then senior year, actually no, I'm sorry. Sophomore year I was 145. Junior year I was 160. Senior year I was 182.
So yeah, I looked on the roster. It says you weigh 175. I'm like,
no, I weigh like 200 pounds.
I was like, that's a big 175 pounder.
Yeah, no, not even close. They even have me at what, 5'8"?
I think 6 foot. Actually, or 5'11". I'm
really 5'11". On a really, really, really good day. I'm always 5'9" on a really bad day.
5'10" an average day.
They call me Short King.
Well, the girl you're talking to, at least.
I can't say anything bad on here, so keep it family friendly.
So pretty poor is what you're saying. Is there one way?
I wouldn't call it pretty poor. I mean
chicken salad's always.
I mean, I have turkey. I have salami. I have like not junky stuff in my body. Like I always have sandwiches. Mm-hmm. I always have the sandwich of our calf, where chicken salad is always a big deal for me. But like chicken nuggets, I love them. Pasta, I love that. I have a lot of pasta in me, or like stuffed shells. So good. So, that's just Italian in me.
Keeping it short. This one's short. What's your go-to snack in between games?
Gatorade. I don't eat in between games.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, even last weekend, I didn't have anything. I mean, there's times where, like, I don't know what it is, but there's times where if I have something in between games, I feel sick throughout the game.
I'm like the same thing. I always had 2 Gatorades, or I had a Gatorade beforehand, and then Gatorade after.
But the thing is also, like, I never really drink water.
That's your problem right there.
But the thing is, I never cramp.
So you probably drink enough electrolytes, which is you have a Gatorade, which that will help with electrolytes. You probably have enough Powerade, Gatorade, or even Pedialyte. So, I mean, that kind of cancels out. So you probably drink like very, very little amount of water. But other than that, I mean, you're just getting rehydrated from the electrolytes.
That was just after practice where I got this thing, strawberry kiwi, gas.
I know, it's pretty good.
Oh, I always have this.
So, next thing. What was the hardest challenge you had to overcome in baseball or in personal life? Hitting the top of the fence.
No. Simmer down. Biggest challenge.
I'll never let you go of that one because that's
No, you
funny.
never will.
That's so funny.
That's only the one thing you saw me when I play. It's me pimping a single.
Dude with a skull.
Yeah. One of the challenging moments was my sophomore year at SDSU, where I hit my lowest peak of I didn't want to play baseball anymore, and I didn't know what to do with my life. I thought I was the worst player. I almost slipped out there.
I mean, according to stats, I mean.
Well, no, like there's a lot of people like that where they're good enough to play, but the mental aspect of the game really gets to them, and they fall under pressure. And I was one of those guys that, in the situations I got or the opportunities I got, I didn't fulfill that, and I failed. I own up to that. Like, yeah, I could have been there. I could have played there. But the coach told me that if I wanted to stay, like, it'd be a grind for 2, 3, 4 more seasons. And it's always a chance because they recruit guys that are as good or as could be better. And that's the thing, like, it's a business for them. And people there come in and they're going to take your spot if they're better than you. And they play the best person out there. And, there's other aspects about him that, I don't want to rip on him online like this, but, there's things that we didn't see eye to eye. I thought I was better than this. He thought that. Like, it just wasn't ideal. And there was a point where, like I said, like, could not fathom anything.
So how did you overcome all this?
Transfer.
Okay, for people that are listening, transferring is not always the answer.
No.
In certain situations, like you didn't see eye to eye.
Yep.
I don't know how the campus life was either. So that could be also another factor.
I talked with him. There was a series where we were playing an NAI team. That's where I am now.
Oh, you guys played Grandview?
No. We played Dakota Wesleyan.
Oh, yeah.
And another team.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was. But it's one of those teams where they weren't the greatest. So we knew right away that we were just going to walk through them. Like, we have the talent that just runs through everyone. And, we started our starters, of course, because it's a real game. Excuse me. But by the third inning, it was already 12 rep. Like, we put up 4 or 5 each inning. And coach started rotating in guys that haven't played, second string, third string guys. And I didn't get put in till like the last half inning where I just caught only. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, not one AB, not nothing. I was like, are you kidding me? And like, that's where I'm like so jaw dropped of what just happened. I was like, why didn't you give me an opportunity to show you what I really have to a team that I can really show it against? And then he was saying, like, you're gonna have to stay here for 2-3 more years, grinding it out to become the guy we want you to be, and having that risk guy coming in years after trying to take your spot. It's just gonna be a battle, or you just go to a lower school, NAI, D2, D3, whatever, JUCO, and be a dog there and hit 3-hole and have fun. And that's kind of where I wanted to go to. Like, I want to have fun. I want to be happy. I don't want to have a stressful life. And I mean, the transfer thing happened, and I mean, the first day I got into the portal, I was already stressed off the back, and I enjoyed it. I mean, best choice I did.
You kind of started talking about it, like kind of like hitting your low. What are some activities you do if you're struggling mentally, and like how much do you care about mental health?
Oh, I care about mental health a lot. I mean, especially even with wrestling, and wrestling was probably the thing that made me mentally strong.
I mean, it should, because you're wrestling 100-degree wrestling, not a little exaggeration, and then
It was warm. Yeah.
It's you against the other person, and who's going to break down first mentally.
Mm-hmm. But I always talk with people. Like, I have a best friend that we talk about everything with, and that's probably one thing that if you are struggling with mental health, is have that one person that is able to listen, is able to give support, or like a solution to your problems. Like, even my dad helped me a little bit. Like, I always called him, and he went through the same thing back in college, where I think he went to Mankato for first 2 years, and then also transferred. So he had the exact same thing happen to him, but he stayed a year later than I did, where he only had 2 years at Grandview. So, I mean, having people have gone through it, having people there to talk to, is what got me through it, and also just like trusting the process.
So what are some activities you do? Like, a lot of people say journaling, reading, could be for you gaming or something.
At SDSU, I didn't have a PC at that time. Yeah.
Right?
No.
Well, it's your brother's, right?
Yeah. So yeah, me and my brother built it. He then bought a very expensive PC. I'm not going to tell you how much, but very expensive.
I think I'm trying to remember now. I think you told me last semester.
I bet I did.
Yeah, because I was like, geez. He's like, yeah, and we built this one.
And it just topples mine. Mine would be like a grandpa compared to his.
So gaming probably is one of your activities.
Gaming, I love gaming. I do it every night almost, but I also do my homework every night.
That's for you, Mom and Dad.
GPA needs to be a 4.0 every semester, so that's what I'm trying to go for. Doing so hot. I mean, I'm doing really well.
Yeah, last semester I had a 4.0.
Mm-hmm.
I saw your name. I was like, hey,
yep,
I know that guy.
Yep. The one semester with Guy. That class was the only class I didn't get an A in. I got I think a B plus.
You got an 89, something like that. You were like a point or two away from
Well, not even that, because here at Grandview, they go by the high school GPA rules, where it's like 4.0 is at an A, then it's like a 3.89 for A minus, and I got a B plus, so it was like a 3.5, 3.6,
something like that.
Yeah,
it's by far, still to this day, it's still by far the hardest class. Like he just talks. It never changed the slides and just talked about personal. And then there was this movie we watched. I was like, I turned around. I was like, what are we talking about? And you're like, I don't know. Like, I'm gone in a couple days because of Florida. You get back and you told me, like, you asked me, what I miss? I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, I can't explain this movie.
No.
And our next test was about that movie. I was like, dude, how?
Yeah.
But moving on to the next question, kind of rolling this thing. Who's your biggest influencer? You kind of mentioned your dad, but is there someone else?
I had a couple. I mean, a lot of them are my coaches growing up. Clint Kloss was a coach of mine that was earlier in travel ball, where he played in the Astros.
Again.
Yep.
Good baseball.
Great baseball player. He taught me the fundamentals of how to play it the right way. High school coach from Coach McDermott for baseball, Coach Smith for wrestling. I mean, they both take a role in what happens. Even my dad, growing up as a child, like just being around sports in general. I mean, he didn't want me to just play one sport. He loved me for playing baseball, playing football, wrestling, like all these. Like I was amazing in all three of them, and that's just because who my dad was, and also my support of my mother as well. Like it was just a good thing to have, and also having a little bit of competition for my brother to be quote unquote the golden child. I would always try to beat him out on everything we did, and I mean, it showed a little bit. My brother he's an exact opposite reflection of me. But I mean, me and him have a great connection with one another, and we have a fun time gaming with one another too. Like that's just the bond we created for us. But I mean, those 4 coaches, my parents, all had that role that made me who I am now.
Okay. What do you think of what do you think a friendship looks like? What is a healthy friendship, and how did you make friends from going from high school to SDSU? Because SDSU is a bigger school than Grandview.
Oh yeah.
And then transferring to Grandview, how did you make friends? I know.
So my friend group back in Minnesota, I mean, we started middle school like 6th grade.
I don't know how Minnesota schools work, because
It's
your school
6 to 8 in middle school.
Okay.
And then it's 9th through 12th in high school.
Is it then elementary? It's just one big elementary, and then you kind of split off depending where you live, or how does that work?
No, there's our high schools. We have like 5 high schools.
That's what I'm asking, because like where I'm from,
2 public, 2 private, 1 like like mathematics, science kind of deal.
So how did you guys decide what school to go to, type thing?
Just boundaries.
So
where we live.
Okay.
And I mean, there is always, so it's like Woodbury, Eastridge was our rival, and Eastridge was 5 minutes away from us. Like we were that close.
Is it north, south, east, west? East, west, probably, because.
Yeah, it was Woodbury would be like a northeast, and then Eastridge would be like a southwest. Like it's at opposite corners.
Oh, so that's pretty cool. Still.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Because the school of intern, it's north south, and it's literally 5 minutes away from each other, north south.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it was fun. I mean, in middle school. So back to the subject of friendship,
A little off subject.
Yeah, yep. I just hopped into this group. Like, I knew one of them prior to, because of summer school. Oh yeah, I was a bad child back in the day. Yep. We went to summer school. I met him, so I kind of like slipped into this group where they're all hockey players, and we got a name for my group. We're both called the Goons, and we were just these goofy guys throughout middle school, throughout high school, where, I mean, it was just a funny squad of guys that we would just have fun. I mean, there was a time, so I'll tell you a story. When we graduated, we didn't have a normal, like, ceremony. Because it was COVID.
Yeah.
Yep. So we didn't have a good graduation thing. We just have a parade. Because we didn't like go to the whole building, like handshake, like we got our diplomas, blah blah blah.
Parade.
Yeah, we had a parade.
Like a 4th of July parade type thing.
No, we all students would go to cars, and our teachers would line up outside our high school, and we would drive in a parade in a line to wave at them. And the guys that I was with, we have a truck, and we decided to fill up as much or as many water balloons as we could to throw at these teachers. And of course, everyone loved it. I mean, I think I domed our principal. She loved it. Our math teachers that we were good friends with, they loved it. And then like afterwards, this is where our friendship comes along. We had this one water balloon left, and we were in this parking lot, and there's one girl driving around. She's standing through the sunroof of this vehicle, just screaming obnoxiously. Like, come on.
Like someone you graduated with or just a random?
Random. I had no idea who she was. And the guys were like, you won't try to throw it at her. Of course, the car's moving. So I was like, I'm not going to hit her. And I yucked it. And I kid you not, it went straight centered at her chest. And it splattered everywhere. And I'll hear like, hey, like, and we're like, we dipped. Like it was one of those things where we're like, oh, and we got out, we got in the truck and we just dipped from there, and we had our good time afterwards. And I mean, it was fun. Like our group has become bigger since graduating. And I mean, we still stay together. I mean, it's an unbreakable bond that we have. So
how did SDSU?
And then at SDSU, so like the difference is like besides one of my buddies, he plays at Utah State for hockey.
Oh, big time.
Yep. And I mean, him and I are the only ones. Actually, there's another one who goes to Colorado, but he's like a frat boy kind of deal.
Oh.
A couple of my buddies are frats.
Oh.
And a lot of them go to the University of Minnesota. But making friends through different colleges that are out of state, like at SDSU, like my freshman and sophomore year, we were all close to one another in dorms. Like we would have one huge aisle of this old dorm where it's all baseball, so we got along pretty well with my class.
Mm-hmm. So besides baseball, besides using your sport, what's a quick way to do it? At SDSU.
Ooh. I think in classes, it's a great way to do it. I mean, that's how we did it in a way.
Kind of, I turned around and asked you a question, like, I don't know. I was like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah, and it just starts with the smallest conversation you can do. Like, you don't really need to go out and make friends. You have people that are right in front of you. You just have to go out of your way to do something about it.
Because I asked Brooke, I was like, who is this person? Like, I think he's on the baseball team. He's like, oh, it's Brock. I was like, all right. So we started talking. And then literally a week later after we met, we went to Drake.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's just all it takes. It's a little communication there and there. Like, you can follow up with it or you cannot. Like, it's your choosing. But classrooms, I mean, at SDSU, we had classrooms that are 200 people plus.
I would not be able to. Did you like that? The bigger classrooms?
No, I hated it. But I mean, I got through it, so it wasn't really a big deal about it. The classes like that were like biology, like weed out classes, like generals. Yeah. And I mean, we had biology, chemistry, or like that. It was just a load of people. Math. Ugh. Or like, yeah, we had like classes like speech was there, or like composition, where it's like 40, 50 guys per class.
And then coming to Grandview
is a big change.
Because I think my biggest class ever was 33, 35 kids.
Oh, yeah.
So how'd you make friends here from being the smaller classroom? Without baseball again?
It took me a little bit. Without baseball.
Was it a culture shock type thing?
In a way, but my high school I graduated with 588, so it was a pretty decently sized.
That's huge for us. Like I graduated with 119.
Yeah, and like so, it's funny. It's like one of the schools that was in our conference in high school. They graduated with 1,100. Yeah, and it's same area. Like it's crazy. I mean, think about it. If my rivals, that's 5 minutes away. That's two big public high schools, two private, and one's math and science. Like, you think of that in one high school, it's going to be like around 2,000 people per class. Mm-hmm. But coming here, I was like, I knew it was a small school. Like I've been here prior to even knowing I was going to come here. That's just because of my dad.
Did he drive you here? Be like, I went to school here.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
one of those
I mean,
things.
we did showcases here for baseball.
Okay.
So it was also through that as well. But it was a little bit of shock because I was already done with my generals. I was already done with those silly classes. But when I was in my majoring classes for criminal justice, like I wasn't expecting 4 guys in a classroom. I was like, whoa. Like there. So my internship, we had 3 guys.
Yep.
Only. I'm like, whoa. Like this is a great class.
And the professor really gets to know you. Like they know your name.
Oh yeah.
They besides knowing you by a number, they know you by your name actually.
Oh yeah, it's really easy too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have
If you don't show up,
wiggle room.
Yeah. What if you don't show up? It's one of 3 people.
Yep. I mean, I am a big stickler of showing up to class. Like I need to do that. I hate people who don't do it. It's just respect for the professor, and also just like respect for yourself of getting out of bed and doing your own thing because you're gonna get a degree here, so might as well just go to class.
Yeah, it's like a job.
I don't even care if you pay attention. I know I don't pay attention that often, but I still get my stuff done and go to class. I've only missed 1 class in my 4 years, which was my freshman year, biology, 7 a.m., and I slept through it. Yep, that was the worst experience of my life because that dropped me like a whole grade letter. And I was like, are you kidding me? And biology was tough for me.
Yeah, because I think today was my first day like actually missing class because I'm not bowling or anything like that.
You missed class today?
I couldn't get out of bed. My hip locked up. My hip locked up. I literally rolled out of bed, fell on the floor, and army crawled to the bathroom.
Tell me you're old without telling me you're old. My hip locked up.
My hip locked. Dude, it was one of the weirdest feelings. I was like, I can't move. Yeah. I was yelling from my roommates, like, I can't move. But getting pretty close to the end. What did your playlist look like, and what's your walk-up song?
Ooh, actually. So, playlist, I'm a lot of EDM calming. Like, it's like my favorite artists would be Kavion. It's like a Nurko guy. Like,
you have to show me after this. You can't play it because of copyright stuff
correct,
like that.
Correct. I understand that. But, I mean, last year I wanted, I think it's called Unfortunate Son, which is like a Vietnam War song, you know. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Or like I think it's Funky Town.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might be this year. Because last year I wanted it, but Jeff Lamp took it from me. It was like 2 seconds. Hey, send me your walk-up songs. Like Jeff Lamp at this time, at these seconds, sent that. And then like 2 seconds later, I sent it. I'm like, are you kidding me? But I'm still looking into it. I might do Funky Town, but we'll see.
What was your last year's walk-up song?
Unfortunate Son.
Okay.
Or whatever it is. Something Son. Is that Vietnam War?
Is your guys' home run song the same, or is that different? Because I liked last year's, actually.
I think it might be the same. But I'm a big EDM guy. Remixes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to see me falling asleep on the bus before our game, so...
Hardcore EDM, just...
Yeah, no, it's really good. Like, I'm not no balls to the walls kind of rager. Like, I can listen to rap, I can listen to R&B, I can listen to country, like... But, like, EDM is my favorite, yeah.
Your go-to type thing. Mm-hmm. Is that one of your weightlifting songs, too?
In a way, yeah. I have a playlist for that, too. But a playlist more of, like, for working out would be, like, rap. Mm-hmm. Like, kind of like these bangers. Like, yeah.
So, what's your best moment of 2023?
I don't...
It could be us meeting. It could be...
Oh, you think so?
It could be Guy Cunningham's class. I mean, it could be going to Drake, even. I don't know.
Man, I don't even know. You're giving me these questions... That's just so broad.
But just your favorite moment. I mean, you have 12 months, 365 days to think about. Could we actually go into nationals?
Oh, yeah. Well, I already said that for baseball memory. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I got to think about this for a little bit.
I can say officially for like my favorite moment of 20.
Give me a hint.
I was gonna say for my favorite moment of 2023 was finishing my senior year and being a year closer, being done to graduate, and actually like figuring things out, kind of getting my life more settled down. I mean, that's a little bit more of my best moments of 2023.
Okay. I could say one of my best moments is like experiencing what I'm going to experience in my career. Like I'm always a big guy for like
So your internship, practically.
my internship. Like I saw things that I mean, of course, not the normal eye can see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can go down to like what I experienced for the first day was a domestic shooting. Yeah, it's
an eye opener.
It was like so in like Minnesota. It's quite different because my buddy is a CSO, was a community service officer, which is like a quote unquote underage cop. They don't carry a gun. They can't pull you over. Like it's something different, but they do small jobs for the police officers. But they still have the car. They still have or not a car, but like a squad. They still have the badges, the equipment like pepper spray, taser, etc. But they just don't carry a gun, and they can't pull you over. They can still write tickets under permission, but there's a lot of things they cannot do. Like. The worst we got when I rode along with him was like a 5 juvenile case where 5 juveniles stole a car, crashed it, fled. They all got found. One had a gun. A couple of them had narcotics. The other two were just there just for giggles. And
wrong place, wrong time. Go on the record.
Pretty much. And, I mean, pretty much they all got like a slap on the wrist because of it. I mean, some of them got charges, of course, like possession charge of narcotics or the firearm. Like, a couple of them did that. But, like, that was the worst I saw in Minnesota for a ride-along. And the first day we get here, it's like domestic shooting and, like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But, like... When I rode along with like the traffic unit, with a patrol unit, we had stabbings, we had pursuits, we had DOAs, dead on arrival, we had crackheads. That's funny. they're always entertainment for the night in a way. We had crashes that ended fatally. Like, yeah, I saw a lot of that here, and like that's just because of this major city. Like it's close to like St. Paul, where I'm from, where it's damn near similar to it, and you're gonna see a lot of that. Yeah, there's just a lot of things you experience: heroin, cocaine, meth, weed. I mean, Minnesota weed's now legalized, so it's a little bit different than here in Iowa because Iowa still has that law of weed being illegal. That was like one of my good moments of experiencing all that and like what goes on day to day in a normal world.
So, kind of going the happier side, what's a goal of 2024?
Baseball or just normal?
Anything, just a big goal.
Big goal in life.
Are you technically graduating and doing your master's?
Yeah, so I'm graduating this spring. So
your goal.
So my goal, yeah, of course, you can be graduating, but I already know I'm going to be graduating because I'm already set. Oh yeah, we can make that as a goal. Just graduating, having a great year. Like I want to be better than last year, of course, for baseball.
Yeah, I mean 276, unacceptable.
Yeah, so pathetic.
That's after every 250 at-bats. We kind of figure this out. I figured it out. After 250 at-bats, you'll have 65 to 69 hits, which is still good. I mean, it's all right.
Hey, the Hall of Famers fail 70% of the time, and they hit 3 out of 10, so that's 300. So, like, Not doing the worst, but not doing the best. So I need to still figure my crap out.
So, where can they find you, social media wise? Unless you're an ambassador, you work somewhere, you want more business for that company. Where?
I think you just got to look at my name, Brock Rinehart, and you'll find it out.
What do you have? Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook? I'm not.
All the above. All the above. They don't change.
All right.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Any closing remarks or closing quotes you want to say?
Oh, you did say find a quote.
Find a favorite quote or find a favorite Bible verse.
Yep, I do have a favorite quote that I actually lived by. It says, "We will either find a way or make one," by Annabelle Barca.
What does it mean to you?
It just means find a way no matter what situation you're in. Like if it's the lowest of the low, you got to find a way to get out of that somehow. Like it could be through friends, like reaching out to people, or for baseball, we always have a saying of find a way to win the battle, find a way to get on, find a way to get this pitch over, find a way to block something, find a way to keep the guy on third, whatever. Like, don't hang your head, don't make excuses, do what you need to do and succeed.
Yeah, I like that one. Anything else you want to say before we close it out?
We will be wrestling after this, just FYI.
No, we're not. You're probably going to the Gav.
No, I gotta do some homework before I start gaming because I haven't gamed in a few days because of baseball.
My fingers might be a little bit rusty because of it now.
No, I'll get the bends out of my elbows here soon, so we're good.
Thank you for listening, and as always, stay healthy.